The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
When was the last time you had really good Texas-style barbecue? Eric's Family Barbecue, the way it's supposed to taste. Always delicious, never rushed, and prepared to perfection. Eric's Family Barbecue uses only 100% fresh meat, slowly smoked over mesquite wood until it's juicy and delicious. We all know their brisket is the best, but have you tried their pulled pork, pork ribs, or rib tips? Amazing, and their sides are all house-made. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip. You won't be sorry. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more information.
You thought that was funny.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
You were laughing like a hyena when he said it.
98.
What the hell is wrong with you?
WWBD.
All right, it is. Have I gotten you off of that there, Brett? I screwed up your mic there.
Yeah.
Something's
I don't know what
going on
happened.
over here. I don't either. There, it's time for What Would Brady Do? And it's all brought to you by our friends at MMP Guns, which is, by the way, in its brand new location, building at least. The location,
same location.
That building is unbelievable.
Nice.
12th Street and Indian School, and it is it's gorgeous. Can't wait till they tear down that asbestos cesspool
shanty
that they
up
were
front,
in.
yeah.
I had no idea that thing was as unnecessary as it was until we went and saw the brand new one.
Go down there and check out the HMS AR.
AK.
It's in the cabinet.
Oh, the AK. Is it in the
Yeah,
cabinet?
AK.
It's in our. Oh man.
Yeah, it's in the cabinet, but not for sale sign on it.
No,
so-
that's right. You get to display it for a little while.
Yeah.
And then it will be in our building once we get approval from the people here at the station. Not allowed to hang AKs on the wall, evidently, at Hubbard Broadcasting. Who knew?
Get that in your next contract.
Yeah, I'm working on it. We're working on that. Evidently frowned upon by a lot of the ladies down in sales to have AK-47s at the ready. Is it damn right it's functional. So it's over there on display. It's beautiful, though. The work they did was incredible. So 12th Street and Indian School up there at M&P Guns. If you want to go down there and grab anything, they got it all, too. The guns, they got the bullets, the ammo, and that beautiful new section. And I don't know if any of those heads are for sale, but it's like a taxidermist exploded. They've got tons of stuff in there for that. I bet you the right price. And the dad will let you have a couple of those. Yeah. So there you go. M&P Guns right there on 12th Street and Indian School. Thank you for bringing us this. What Would Brady Do? And I've got all of them right in front of me. You ready, Brady?
Ready.
A couple of gems today. Dear Brady, I'll start with this one because this is my favorite one. Where's Mark Randall? It's my boss, who's about 25 years older than me, did something last week that I need help with, Brady. At a Thanksgiving lunch on Tuesday, on Tuesday, he invited me to the Thanksgiving lunch on Wednesday for work. He told me he was going to be without his wife and kids for the first time in 20 years. They recently divorced. Anyway, I felt really bad about this and said, well, you can come to my house for Thanksgiving with my sister's family. And he said yes. It was a hollow offer. But there he was with my sister, her kids and her husband, me, and my boss. Anyway, my sister's fam came and went. The night was okay. He was a little drunk, so he stuck around on the couch for a while. He fell asleep on my couch, so I just said, you know what, you can stay here. In the middle of the night, he knocked on my bedroom door. I let him in. We didn't do it, but I did perform oral.
Oh.
Boss knocks on the door in the middle of the night. She opens it up.
Wow.
Starts, giving a mouth hug to the piece of deal.
Now that's a Thanksgiving.
I'm scared to go to work today, Brady. He's texted and called me a bunch this weekend. What the hell was I thinking? I replied back that I was very busy. I'm sorry I didn't get back to him. How do I get out of this thicket? I think he might be in love. Help me, Teresa.
Teresa, this is easy, man.
Blew the boss.
You got a lawsuit on your hands. Just get the check and take it out of there. That's all you got to do.
You think she should?
I didn't want to do this.
She should sue him for blowing him at her own
Now
house?
Yeah. He
Man,
said,
that's a good lawyer
Who
right
is this
there.
guy?
Yeah, who in the world
I
are
can't
you?
believe Brady would say that.
Why don't you come over?
Now, I just kid.
How do you go back to work after that?
You broke the ice. There's
A little bit.
There's no going back from that.
But how do you maneuver these waters now? How do you navigate this situation? Let's say you.
Did she say at the end, is he reaching out to her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Did you listen to any of that?
He's
last
in love. Yeah, I thought at the tail end of it, I know there's nothing you can do about it.
So I went to
Other
dinner.
than you say it goes one direction or not. Look,
Right.
What happened on the weekend was a one-time
Oof.
deal,
It's going to get weird.
which will be fine.
Will it? What if he learned? It makes it really awkward. Tripp and I went to dinner on Friday, and he said, they asked me if it's a special occasion, and I was going to put down engagement. Because it's the two of us. And I'm like, that would have been great. And I'd have played along, too. I said, by the end of the night, we'd have had drinks by every table. I said, but we'd have had to play the game and done a little kissing here for the show. And we both kind of went, oh, no, can't do that. So even at that point, the boss and I, had I blown Tripp that night, today would have been weird. Our date was great. We had a nice time. But, you got to shake hands and go away. Men. That's a tough one. She might have to quit.
Yeah, well, there's a good chance of that.
Oh.
I mean, your Thanksgiving was a little over-giving.
And what were you thinking when he knocked on the door?
Not only that, they're saying, he showed up, and you're already saying, it was an empty offer. But what happened to the empty offer on the knock on the bedroom door?
Like, it doesn't automatically mean you have to. Like, you could have just said, okay, go to sleep. Or goodbye.
Bathroom's down the hall.
Right. You're in this is the wrong room. And the next thing you know, you're eating the boss. Well, that's a tough go, man. That's your fault, lady. This is a bed you made. You have to just act like it. Do you act like it didn't? I think you got to blow them every once in a while now.
Well, you get a promotion out of it.
Right, you're going to get more money.
Yeah.
I think you should do the right thing and get married.
That's right. Oh, that's the last thing I need.
If you never want to do that again, you got to get married.
That's right. To someone else, you mean? Yeah. You got to find a guy like right now and marry him. Whew. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that with you. Or you just give him a Hummer now and again and make him feel like you're kind of a slut.
I mean, really uncomfortable. And I don't know the...
This made you uncomfortable?
Well, to be able to address it. I mean... I'm either skipping on, not talking about it. Not talking about it. That was the weekend. Great Thanksgiving.
Brady, wake up.
Yeah.
I can't sleep. Daddy needs help.
Well, then I guess I got to do this.
Never talk of it again.
Great weekend, boss.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of maybe led him down a road of thinking that you like him. I don't know. You don't get a lot of BJs from people that,
If you want to
don't like
keep
it.
your job, let him move in.
Yeah, or maybe that. Just get really like I said. I guess you could try to go clinger on him, but he might like that because he's in 20-year marriage is over. This is his first Thanksgiving without. He's fragile.
You gave him a taste of honey.
Yeah, he's fragile now.
Uh-oh.
So he might be emotional. I don't think you want to show. This is bad news. You have blown it, literally.
Right out the window.
Oh, this is bad. Teresa, you're going to get fired, or you better quit, or I don't know what you got to do here. Start liking that boss a whole bunch, that's for sure. Do you talk to him about it? If he doesn't bring it up, you don't bring it up. Do like Brady and just hope it goes away.
Yeah.
But if he brings it up, what do you
Blink and turn away.
What if he says, you didn't... I always use Tripp's voice. You didn't call me back this week, and I was a little worried that after you blew me, you didn't like me anymore. I don't know. What are you doing tonight?
I think the going away part will be easier for both.
What do you mean? If she left?
Even for him.
If she left the building?
Well, if they don't even talk about it.
Yeah, well, that's the hope, right? But you got to get both
it's
people on.
always there.
I'm telling you, there's a really good chance.
But but both people have to be on board that. No talking about it.
And if he's in love, like she thinks.
And that's what I'm saying is I think there's a really good chance for that.
That he won't talk about it?
Yeah.
I don't.
I think he's going to talk about it.
And even still, as
I'm
a
just
boss,
saying
he has to.
Because of the boss thing.
He has to bring it up. Because the longer you don't talk about it, the bigger it gets. Like if she's not bringing it up and you're ignoring it, now you are thinking lawsuits are right around the corner. As the boss, he's going to bring it up to you today. And I think what you have to tell him is like, I don't think this is a good idea. It can't affect your work. That's a good thing. I mean, it can make it uncomfortable, but he can't really do anything bad.
If I'm the
shouldn't have blown your boss. Shouldn't have done it.
If I'm the boss, I'm
that's the rules.
squirming like crazy.
Don't blow your boss.
Yeah.
That's just, boy, that's a life lesson you don't want to learn, quote, the hard way. Whew. So let's say he comes to her today.
It works both ways on that, too.
What do you do? What, you can go to him?
No, if you're the boss.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let the minions.
Yeah, it's the old thing. You don't eat where you poop. Or you don't poop where you eat, something like that. You keep your poop and your food separate. But it's hard sometimes because there you are, a little drunk.
Keep your pen out of the company ink.
Yeah, the hot girl show. Yeah, that's a good one. The hot girl shows a little open door policy with the Thanksgiving invite. You take your chance with a knock on the door. And that didn't just go right to the oral. They had to do some making out, a little flirt. There had to be some sort of... You were giving him go signs.
She did it, so
you did it.
That's
Yes,
on you at this point.
I'm not so sure I understand her. You're a whore.
That's what I'm going with.
And now you're regretting. You can't do that and regret it. Then now it's on you to go, I don't know, I was drunk. That was probably a mistake. And then prepare yourself.
Now you got trouble.
Because he might say, wasn't a mistake to me. And I'm going to use Tripp's voice because this is great to think of him doing it. Wasn't a mistake for me. Now what? You just have to live with being kind of... Because there's no way he knocked on the door and she just went right down. Like there was tender jokes and flirting, and he got the go signals all night. Wow. Anyway, you're in a mess, lady. Brady can't fix
Let
you.
alone, she's, you're going to be talking to your QB mate or in the office, and that all of a sudden gets around.
Don't be a whore.
Just know in about 2 weeks, everyone will know.
I need to know the build-up between when the sister left and what happened between him drunk on the couch and knocking on the door.
Yeah,
You did. You let him. Something was going on.
There had to have been flirtation going on.
There's something.
They
brewing.
went to the sister's house, right?
No, her house. The sister came over to her.
Okay.
From what I gather. I don't know. You just don't get blown like that
It's
easy.
because I was stuffing a yam in my mouth at dinner.
Look how much I can eat. One whole potato at a time. I call this a boss potato. Yeah, the signals are everywhere. Yeah. I'm going in. Then he woke up
Knock, knock.
drunk and throws that at her. I'm going in. Hey, you want to eat another potato?
Oops, look who came to the party.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got a yam for you.
I got a yam in my pants, and it's Thanksgiving, and you're welcome. That's a mess. You acted like a whore, now you have to pay the price a whore pays. Or just keep doing it. Ugh. Chicks. Dear Brady, what should I do with my wife's parents? They went out of their situation and into an assisted living home or to live with us. They can't afford assisted living without our help. So do we move them in since that would be much cheaper for me or pay for them to not live with us? We can afford it, but it is a lot of money, Ron. Let them live with you or put them in a home and pay for it.
Well, we kind of went through that with my folks for a little bit. I was in Columbus, so they really didn't have an option out here. But
Right.
my sister and brother, we were figuring out what's the best situation. It worked out because we had a family friend that ended up moving out. It is expensive.
Oh, yeah. But your parents did well, so they're paying for their own
Yeah,
way.
but looking for them between
Oh,
one
sure.
of these, that assisted living, and they're on the outside of the big house.
Yeah.
So they can come
the
and
death
go
house.
as they want.
There's
Yeah.
the death tower.
Yeah,
And then
they
the
call it
condos.
the big house.
Yeah, the condos are nice for the people who aren't quite there yet. And
Yeah.
then you move into the death tower.
Yep.
Yeah.
And but I'm just telling you, it depends on your situation. I know of both. That I
Right.
know that someone built the in-law place.
Oh, that's a
couple of
lot
those.
of dough right there.
It is.
What would you do had your parents not had enough money and they wanted to either go into the assisted living or live with you? Would you have paid for it?
Yeah, oh yeah, I would.
Would you have helped out? Would you have paid for it or would you let them live with you? Like, say you're the only option.
See, I was okay. For me, if you're asking me, that if they had to live with me, I could, I would modify and make that happen.
Yeah.
But it's not just me. It's
Right.
Ronnie and
Ronnie
Kirby.
would not want that.
So probably not. And I wouldn't. And I understand. I
No
don't
way.
hold that against her. She says, like, if they had to, they could. She would also
No
say
way.
that about grandma, her grandmother.
Right. She's got to say that because she's got
Because I
one.
would if grandma needs a place to stay,
Oh,
really on the family, then
Stop
okay,
saying
whatever.
that stuff.
We don't have to worry about that one.
Never. Oh, yeah, she's gone.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
now-
big strain on your relationship.
Oh, you can't do
moving
it.
in
It
a
can be,
parent or
absolutely.
something.
My mom used to
I would
say
pay.
Absolutely. My mom used to say it all the time. She's, you get enough room, you could put like a little tiny house in the back and I could live there. And then she'd get out of the car and make him go,
She's not moving in with us.
and I'm like, I know she's not, because all the lady talks about was needing her privacy so she can walk around naked. I can't walk in that or see that in my backyard.
It can be. I know of 3 that it works. It
It
you
doesn't
have to be
ever work. They're turning a blind eye to all things that, they're lying to you because they don't want you to know there's horror.
Oh,
Nobody wants their parents to move in with them.
There's one, the parents were living with them, and they bought another house, and the parents came along and
moved in with them.
Yeah.
My mom
one, I had to say, that work. I mean, it's working for them.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah, my mom's staying at my sister's house. Yeah, I don't know how
It
anybody
works for them
no,
for
I don't
some
know.
reason.
I don't know how anybody lives with my sister, let alone my mom. I feel bad for my mom.
And your brother-in-law.
He's hardly ever there.
That's why it works.
Yeah, that's why it works for him. He travels for work, so it's great. But yeah, no, I'd pay. I'd pay to keep him out of there.
I think
100%.
for majority folks, if you can get them on a separate facility, that's probably the easiest way. But there is a price to pay.
Well, the thing they always say, too, is like, well, they took you when you were a kid. Yeah, but I was a child. It's illegal to let me go out on them. Plus, I have a future. Like, you're old. It's over. If you're incapable of taking care of yourself without pooping all over my floors.
What was good on my, my folks also moving in there was there were some other friends that were there already. And it's nice because they got that community there. Because what happens a lot of times, the parent or parents move in with you, and you're the only friends. They don't have any other friends.
Right. That's worse.
Yeah. Then
my grandma
you
lived
feel
at our
that
house
pressure.
for 3 months, and then she had to go. She was taking dumps and not flushing, which was I had to share a bathroom with her. And my dog, Brandy, a big Weimaraner, came out of the bathroom once with a face covered in yoo-hoo. I heard her licking out of the toilet. And I'm too stupid. I was like 11, and I heard in the toilet. And Brandy, quit drinking out of the toilet. The dog drinks out of the toilet. My grandma Isabel sitting there smoking her cigarette going, I know. It's disgusting. And then here comes Brandy, coated in yoo-hoo.
I think Grandma threw pumpkin bread in the toilet.
I mean, it couldn't have been more yoo-hoo consistent. Like somebody, if you cracked open a yoo-hoo
Brandy's
and poured it
drinking
off,
gravy.
Brandy was in heaven. Whatever, Brandy likes Centrum Silver, Metamucil, and liquid products because
High
Brandy
fiber.
Thrill and just slop mouthing all the way through the kitchen, right into the living room.
So bad.
Yeah.
So who cracked the news to Grandma?
I did
3
immediately.
months?
Did you not?
No.
I was like, did Brandy just ate a bunch of your turds?
After 3 months, did Dan come in like,
my
it's
dad.
over.
It was his mom. We got to get you
we
out of
gotta
here.
get
Yeah, you can't stay
And
here.
where did she go?
I don't know, some other palace.
Wasn't
that she
there,
couldn't-
that's
She
all
wasn't in our
that
house. I forgot. I think she went to my aunt's house.
It was a catch and
I know,
release.
yeah. All right, one more. We're done. Yeah, one more. Jesus. Come on, stop out. That's fun. This is where I'm. The clients understand. This is good times.
Do they?
Yeah, I think so.
Don't think so.
Oh, all right. Which one do you want? One about you and me, or one about a girlfriend who likes to
After
get
the
punched?
break.
All right, we'll take a Brady.
Okay,
Let Brady
all right.
decide, and we'll come back with more. What would Brady do after the break? Hey, I like this idea. After the break.
Arizona's most powerful rock radio station. 98 KUPD.
And we're back with more of What Would Brady Do. Got 2 good ones. And then people are emailing in and said, I think the boss that you were talking about had the wishbone and you lost. That's true. Everybody's mad at that girl for blowing her boss and then getting mad about it a couple days later. I think you just have to keep up with it.
She's a whore.
Yeah, I got a lot of those. I got a lot of those. People just being mean to her. But, I mean, that is kind of a weird letter to write us. I don't know how to handle that stuff.
That's
Email Beth.
I'll tell you,
She might figure it out. She might have been through this.
I think it's being a great host, but that's just me.
I totally agree with you. She is a...
Hospitality.
I mean, the pineapple was in the front door.
I mean, it's good. She's very, very accommodating. I wonder what her sister would have been like if she'd have hung around, get the whole family involved. All right, would you like the rough sex or you and... we'll do them both.
Okay.
Dear Brady, my new
Frida's
girlfriend is
dying.
awesome. She's gorgeous and she likes it rough. At first, I thought I knew what that meant. A few times in, she started getting rougher. Last week, she asked me to punch her in the back. She wants bruises everywhere but her face, she said. And I mean bruises. She talked me into it, so I punched her, and she wasn't satisfied. So I punched her again. Still not satisfied, so I hauled off and cracked her in the back.
I mean, that's terrible.
She started crying. Finished up. Everything seemed, I think that's what she wanted, but we haven't talked since that night. She was not returning my calls. She left the next morning, kissed me goodbye, and that was that. I'm just waiting for the police to show up. Todd.
So long, cancellation boy. What are
idiot.
you thinking?
What an idiot.
Punch her in the back. Todd.
I'm sorry. That's DUM.
Yeah, it is DUM. Brady's right, Todd. What does he do now? Just sit and wait for the cops, right? That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't resist arrest.
Yeah, just go right into the
Just
joint.
comply.
Yeah, comply. Talk to a lawyer.
Keep to your story the best you can.
Tell the truth.
But definitely hire a lawyer first because they'll tell you, here's what you say, here's what you don't say.
Let's get Lerner and Rowe on this. And tell the truth and just stick to your side. Don't vary any of it. Just be honest about it all.
We have problems because if there's photographic evidence,
Her lawyer's going to say something like,
she said, he said.
Did you punch her in the back? And you'll say, yes, I did. And then the lawyer will say, why? And say, well, she asked me to. And that gives you a right to punch. No, you're done. You punched a woman in the back. It doesn't matter if she wants it or not. You can't leave marks like that. Oh,
Idiot.
I wish
He deserves it. He deserves what he's
I
doing
know.
to him.
You just,
Yeah, if you're that dumb.
I like it rough. Now I want you to leave a bruise. What do you mean? That red light.
Yeah.
She's got trouble with her dad. I mean, you can accidentally
But then
bruise
Dad
her.
wasn't that much trouble.
No.
He went further than Dad.
Yeah, you punch to your limits. If she says punch me, you're
There's
like,
no
that's it.
punching.
There's some punching.
sorry.
Brady, there's a little punching. Occasionally there's a couple of slugs. But that's okay. There's a bite, a slug, a punch.
Spank.
Sean
maybe.
Connery would agree with you on
Yeah.
this.
Sometimes you have to let a lady know you're still the boss. And they always want to have the last word, so you give it to them, and still it's not enough. So you punch them in the back and leave a bruise the size of your fist. So it can be easily measured by a CSI. And the worst part is maybe she died or something, and that's the reason she hasn't gotten back to you. Now her dead body's covered in your fist bruises.
Internal bleeding.
Oh, I'd be in a pure panic. Go over to her house immediately and ball up your fists and say, "Where have you been?"
Enjoy Cyber Monday.
Yeah, save your money. So as many savings as you can get because you're going to need it for lawyers. Don't leave marks.
Now, what happens on
Playfully
that?
punch.
So then,
No closed
like
fist.
the process is what you'd be
It
released
depends
on
on
bond.
what
Don't
she.
they have to hold somebody?
It depends
or
on what she says.
enjoy the jumper for a while.
But the good
And
news
it's her
is
word against yours.
right, and you're done.
Yeah, you're done.
And the good news is she didn't go to the cops right away, so they didn't do some sort of weird rape kit or something. No, they'd have come to your house by now.
That does.
So every day that passes, the bruises fade, but you got about 6 more days to panic, Todd. Finally, Brady, my friend is like John, and I'm like you, Brady. He's a realist of sorts, of depressing in his own way, but he shines a light on things that I frankly have chosen to just ignore. But it's hard to not see how right this guy is a lot of the times about the BS in the world. How do you fight being like John? Ben.
I've been trying to do the best I can for the last 20 or
true.
so years.
You never did.
But it has. There definitely has been some reality checks.
Sure.
Looking at certain ways, but you'll have to eventually figure out that sometimes it's just better to look away and not hang on it because you'll drive yourself crazy.
There are some people who don't want to see the cynicism in life,
Yeah.
and some people who thrive on it. I'm the person who can't live in a world without seeing the hypocrisy and cynicism.
Yeah.
That keeps me safe. You're the person that says, I'd rather look past that and just move on.
It's there.
I can't.
I know it's there.
Yeah. But what I...
Until it gets into
Right.
it's just...
For me,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
the
you said
blind
it.
eye. The blind eye
Yeah.
is where I'm like, no. I understand you ignoring it, but don't act like it doesn't exist.
Right.
That's when I'm like, no, I'm talking to you about this.
Yeah.
But if you just choose to go, well, that doesn't bother me, I'm fine with that. But don't act like it's not a thing.
What's interesting is when you go along and you discover that there's some of the stuff that you've been ignoring.
Like your
on that
dad
side
being
of it.
part of the revolution.
Right. And then you realize a little bit of it. You then what helps is you start to see it in other
Right.
facets.
You open the
You're
door
like-
to darkness, it's everywhere.
It opens the eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there's certain. I think the only way you'll be able to exist if a certain type of person. Like, I mean, for your example, John, like some of the stuff that you realize that this is the way it is, it's created when it creates, I guess, anxiety or something like that. And it's a tough. It's a
you can get
juggling
into
act.
that mess where you're trying to ignore the things that are real and they're bothering you. I always go back to that documentary about those Mormons in Idaho.
All that family.
Where I'm like, this is the danger of the rose-colored glasses, turn a blind eye lifestyle, that all this terrible stuff was going on around them, and they just refused to admit it until it got into their house and stole their daughter. And even at that point, what was that called?
And that was the one reason
Did
why.
you watch that?
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
must.
What was it called? But the reason why you and I can talk about most subjects and all that is because you'll never hear me say, like, listen, yeah, I went ahead and blew the guy.
Right,
because
which is in the documentary. This Mormon guy's like, look, he was a good friend, and he told me between two friends making each other feel good's never bad. So, of course, I manually stimulated him in the car. And he's crying while he tells the story because he's like, I just can't say no to this guy. He's so nice to me. And the world is cherries and ice cream all the time. He never looked at the guy and said, that's just crazy. Everything was good.
And knowing all this stuff
that's how he was
happening,
raised.
That's twinking.
It's what the
and
Mormon,
the guy's a predator.
Yeah, the Mormon joke is, and in the Book of Mormon they make light of it, and you talk to Mormons, is you take terrible things and you stuff it away.
Yeah.
You just get rid of it. It doesn't, it's not, there's no reason to have it. Like it's there, yuck, we know it, let's ignore it, and act like it never occurred. Those are the things that I try to avoid. But Brady's done a good job of trying to, you're more cynical than you used to be, but I think that just comes with time. I did help that.
You've enhanced it.
And you've rubbed off zero on me. I'm less rosy than I could ever imagine. I don't know why none of your stuff works on me, but it's.
I see a lot of the skills that I've put.
None.
Oh,
Zero.
yeah.
No, I do not have my rose-colored glasses. Like, I'm afraid to go down that road now. I've seen what it's done to you. It's terrifying. I'm more cynical than I've ever been, thanks to your rosy glasses. Because now I'm doing the job for two of us. I got to point out all of your crap, too. It's terrifying. Your dad being part of the Cuban Revolution, the side hustles he had going on. Craziness. It's nuts. Your aunt, that half-sister of yours, the lunch lady, just craziness, Brady. The tennis coach. There's so much going on in your world I had to point out. It's wearing me out, Brett.
I'm worn out just hearing it.
Oh, it's so much. No dad takes you to visit the daughter of the tennis coach he spent weekends with, unless it's his.
I don't know. That's not even.
It's close. Yeah. It's pretty close. You just don't go visit some lady's daughter. I was close to them. They're like 80 miles from the house. Yeah. And nobody suspected a thing.
The golf coach, the high estate.
That was another one. You went on some roadie and your dad pulled over and went to some lady's house. And it was a woman about your age.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. I have to do the work for two because you've blocked this out. Because I remember you telling me the story. I'm like, Brady, this isn't right. You know that, right?
Tarp was quite the pimp, huh?
He was trying to get my sauce in at a high school. He thought he could sell sauce. So he introduced me to the lunch lady there.
The lunch lady's
is that what
daughter.
it was?
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, maybe you can get your sauce in there."
But wasn't it the lunch lady's?
This is not.
Was the
high
daughter?
schools don't buy barbecue sauce for. I mean, they have to get it.
Am I wrong? Why
No.
even start? That was his. It was what he was telling Brady, so he could pull over and bang this lunch lady right in front of his son. Your dad, your uncle that laid down with the lawn man. I had to be the one that broke the news to you that
First
this
of
was
all,
gay.
he was a gardener.
All right.
Boy, those rose-colored glasses.
You
of
didn't
yours
have to
are-
point that out.
I
God.
had to bring out an awful lot more detail to that story because you guys had chosen to go, yeah, this looks like it could be that, but let's not
I
dive in.
asked my dad, was it just laying down? Was it just a nappy pappy, or did more go on?
There's where
He
I
doesn't
came
know.
in. There's where I came in. There's no such thing as a nappy pappy with the
He
gardener.
turned around and left the room.
I don't care. If you laid down with your lawn guy, it's gay. Like immediately. There is no, that's a good idea as a couple of
What if they were listening to a radio show or something
no.
on there? Good little program,
He should
Jack
be
Benny.
He should be outside doing some lawn work. He should never be in the house.
They
laying
get breaks.
Down,
They get a smoke break.
Not in the house with the fam.
You're right.
Doesn't happen. That's the gayest thing in the world. Your uncle was boning the yard man.
No, other way around.
Either way, I don't know which he was, a top or a bottom.
He was groomed.
Let's just say there was a lot of towels that nobody talks about. He was groomed. He was groomed like a
Like a
lawn.
daisy.
He looked nice. Anyway, so I've pointed out a few things. Your Aunt Mary calling you
Chunks.
Chunks
Term
was
of
not loving.
endearment.
Brady kept calling it, that was out of love. I'm like, nobody calls a fat kid Chunks out of love. That's mean.
Well, which one jumped in the jacuzzi with the cans hanging out?
That was another
Same
thing.
one?
Yeah, see, Brady's got a lot of these. And I had to I'm worn out. I need a break from all my cynicism being bled onto you. Will you give me some of that rose-colored stuff eventually?
I've been trying to hand
doesn't
it
work.
out.
Yours work. It's false. All right.
Works like a charm.
No, it doesn't. I see. I couldn't live my life knowing that my uncle was boning the yard guy and just going, I'm just going to.
I didn't really know him too well. Kept him away.
Too gay. Anyway, well, there you go. That is what Brady did. 2 segments worth, Brady. So many things over the holiday that people got together with. All right, there you go. Nice job, Brady. You did it, and you did it well. It's 98 KUPD. That was what Brady did.
Arizona's most powerful rock radio station. 98 KUPD.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.